Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you're watching my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode will be a double header. I'll do two for the price of one. Make this a quick rundown of UFC 247, which had a lot of great fights, prelims to the main card, but a couple bogus decisions. Anyhow, yeah, and then I'll do the pre-fight for Jan Błachowicz versus Corey Anderson. So I'll just do a quick rundown of post-fight for 247. So, yeah, John Jones won by unanimous decision over Dominic Reyes. I completely disagree with this decision. Significant strikes landed for Dominic Reyes' favor. He won the first 3 rounds based on the stats of significant strikes, which for me that overpowers dominant positions and octagon control, because if you're landing more strikes, then you had more control and you had the aggression. So to say, well, he controlled the center of the octagon while this guy landed more strikes and so therefore it's even. Well, was he really controlling the center of the octagon if he had more strikes landed on him? This goes for any fight. Not just this fight, but just any fight. So that's why I always say, and in theory, it's supposed to be strikes landed above else too, is according to some of the judging criteria I've heard in the past. So anyways, Dominic Reyes, I think, got robbed in this fight. He should have won 48-47. I think John Jones won the last 2 rounds. Fair and square, but 3-2 majority win. Dominic Reyes, your new champ. But yeah, John Jones won the decision. So he's still the UFC light heavyweight champ for now. And nothing against John Jones, it's not his fault. And I want to remind people that the fighters are not the judges. The fighters just go along with what they're being given to them and what they're being told. So you can't blame it on the fighters ever for this sort of ordeal. On to the co-main event. In the women's UFC flyweight title fight, we had Valentina Shevchenko versus Katlyn Chookagian. And I thought this fight was going to be a barn burner, close fight, and Katlyn would get a round or two, or who knows, she might win every round just barely, and then, or vice versa. Boy, was I wrong. Valentina went in there and just cleaned house the first couple rounds and then finished her off TKO elbows and punches the third round. Valentina looked great. I think she has a lot of good challengers lined up in the flyweight division. I think Jennifer Maia could bounce back into title contention, and I think so could Jessica Ai for a rematch. And so you got some good contenders there. Will Valentina be the favorite in those matches? Of course. That's not Valentina's fault. That's not, any particular fighter's fault. That's just the way things are. But nonetheless, if you earn a title shot, you should get a title shot. Then in the heavyweight division, we had Justin Tafa versus Juan Adams. Juan Adams, he got cut by the UFC after this fight. So Justin Tafa won TKO punches round 1. And Justin Tafa made his big splash in the UFC heavyweight division with this win, and he is made his first UFC win, and he's now 1-1 in the UFC, and can't wait to see more of him. I think maybe he found his groove in this fight. Then in the featherweight division, we had Dan Ige versus Mirsad Bektic. This was a close fight. It could have gone either way. Mirsad landed some good shots and got some good positions. Dan Ige landed some good shots and got some good positions. But it was a split decision win for Dan Ige. This one, if it went the other way, I wouldn't say it's a robbery and so forth. Then, in the heavyweight division, to kick off the main card, we had Derek Lewis versus Ilir Latifi. I actually had Latifi winning this fight. But, Derek Lewis, happy, as a proud Texan, I'm glad he won. it is what it is. I mean, Ilir Latifi, got his big heavyweight debut in the UFC, and I want now it's gonna be interesting to see if he stays at heavyweight or goes to 205. But yeah, Derek Lewis won on the judges' scorecards, unanimous decision, 29-28. I think they had round 2 for Latifi. So if that's the case, not the biggest robbery, but yeah, Lewis did land some good clean shots too late in the 3rd round. So props to Derek Lewis for getting the big win. And on to the pre-fight for Corey Anderson versus Jan Błachowicz now. So in the main event, we have light heavyweight clash with Corey Anderson and Jan Błachowicz. I'm going to go with Corey Anderson by knockout late in the 1st round. Then in the welterweight division, we have Diego Sanchez versus Michael Pereira. And I'm going to go with... oh, gosh. You know what? I mean, Diego somehow gets the judges to go on his side. But, oh, man. I mean, this is tough because, I mean, he's a Jackson Winklejohn guy. And it's in Arizona. I mean, New Mexico. So the judge, some might say, well, the judges will favor him. Yeah. Oh man. You know what? This being at welterweight, I think you know what? I'll go with Diego Sanchez by decision. And then in the women's flyweight division, you have Montana De La Rosa versus Mara Romero Barella. And Montana De La Rosa, I think, is just prime and ready for this fight. I think she wins by decision with dominant positions and more strikes landed. Then in the lightweight division, we have Brock Weaver versus Kazula Vargas. I'm going to go with Brock Weaver. I believe he's a Contender Series alumni and good dominant fighter. Yeah, just this is going to be a good fight though. I think Brock Weaver gets it done by decision. Unanimous though. And then a catchweight clash at 128 with Rogerio Bontorin versus Ray Borg. You know what? Ray Borg missed weight, but I'm going to go with Ray Borg. Yeah, I think Ray Borg is still talented and still can get it done, but he just needs to figure out the weight issue. Then in the lightweight division, we have Lando Venata versus Yancy Medeiros. And oh, man, you know what? I'm going to go with Yancy Medeiros. I think his striking, even, I know he's going to be coming into enemy territory in this fight, but I think he gets it done. I mean, it just, he is, he trains with the Diaz brothers, and, yeah, he's trained with the Diaz brothers, and I think his striking being so flashy will kind of throw things off for Lando Venata. But Lando Venata is known for his flashy strikes too. So I'm gonna go with I'll go with Yancy Medeiros on here by decision, but it'll be a barn burner fight with good strikes. So there you have it. There's my predictions, and stay tuned in the coming days for my post-fight show of this card. Until then, see ya.